It's just a public service announcement. Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the O.
Ladies and gentlemen, what's going on? We got the MLB offseason heating up, so we're ready to make our takes on the biggest names that are changing squads this winter. You got a lot of free agents out there, and the trade market is another avenue that teams will be looking to add some talent. So B, why don't you start us off? Who's going to be the biggest name that ends up wearing a different uniform come opening day?
Now, the 2020 MLB free agent market has some huge names that are potentially going to change teams, such as George Springer, DJ LeMahieu, and championship-winning third baseman Justin Turner. But I'm actually going to go with the reigning 2020 NL Cy Young winning starting pitcher Trevor Bauer as the most likely name to change teams this offseason. And part of the reason is Bauer has become well accustomed to changing organizations as he's poised to join the fourth team of his young career. But everything's different now for the former 2011 third overall pick as he's turned all of his potential into consistent performances every single time he touched the mound. Now, Bauer's play is not the only thing that makes him one of the most marketable free agents this offseason. It's also his big city personality, which makes him a game and culture-changing piece to any potential organization. Now, of course, Bauer takes it too far in certain situations, such as what got him kind of removed from Cleveland, like throwing the ball over center field and much more. But no one can say that having this player as a potential teammate is not a major plus for any team's mantra. The main thing about Trevor Bauer is he's never been scared to be who he is, despite playing in small markets such as Arizona, Cleveland, and Cincinnati. But now that Trevor Bauer has officially reached the peak of his career, the 29-year-old is ready to cash out with a championship-caliber team, hopefully in a large market similar to that of his hometown of Los Angeles. Now with Trevor Bauer, there are some drawbacks, such as his inconsistent year-by-year production, which highlights his inconsistent behavior. But there's a great chance Bauer found himself in Cincy this year, which allowed him to take full advantage of a contract year during the shortened 60-game MLB season. Still, though, it's all about his swagger, confidence, and fire that Bauer brings, which is too much for any MLB organization to ignore this offseason. It's become evident that Trevor Bauer cares way more about winning than anything. So even if he can't continue the dominance that he displayed in 2020, he'll be making sure that he can do whatever it takes to make sure any other starting pitcher, any other player is well fired up for any opponent that comes to the field. And one more thing about this offseason is there won't be many fans in the stands, so something has to draw fans to organizations, and Bauer's name is simply enough to get people to watch or at least bet on his next starting performance. So watch out for teams such as the Los Angeles Angels or the New York Mets to make big offers to land Bauer's elite services this offseason.
Yeah, Bauer's definitely the biggest name out there and most likely to change teams, although it did sound like he did enjoy his time in Cincy, at least with the whole Cincinnati Buds thing they had going on. But, you know, as you pointed out, he has that big market personality and is definitely looking to break the bank. So it's very likely he'll be wearing that fourth uniform this coming opening day. And as we all know, there's no bigger name on the free agent market than Bauer. So I'm going to go to the trade market on this one. And I think Francisco Lindor ends up being the biggest name to change teams this winter. What's interesting is both these guys, Bauer and Lindor, were key pieces during Cleveland's championship run a few years ago. But now they're ready to go to bigger teams and secure a paycheck for the rest of their life. A small market team like Cleveland is going to do what they always do. Trade him for future assets and young players and continue the process, just like they did Trevor Bauer, just like they did Mike Clevenger, just like they did Carlos Santana, and on and on. Unlike Bauer, though, Lindor can play every day and impacts the game on all sides of the ball with a power bat on offense, elite speed on the base pass, and a golden glove at a premium position in the field. Lindor is one of the best players in the game, make no mistake about it, and is probably going to sign for one of those $200 to $300 million lucrative contracts. And I just don't see it coming from a team in Ohio. The Mets make a lot of sense as a trade destination with all the money they have with Steve Cohen as their new owner and are armed with promising young middle infielders like Ahmed Rosario and Andres Jimenez that can be used as trade bait for Cleveland's replacement. The Angels and Yankees also stand out as some prime destinations due to their own ability to afford Lindor's next contract and willingness to give up a premium package due to him likely being there for more than just his upcoming year, as opposed to if he went to other teams like Milwaukee or Minnesota that are in smaller markets. Lindor has expressed a willingness to sign an extension with the Indians, but only for the right price, and his agent likely isn't going to get that from a team like Cleveland. So there's a lot of uncertainty this offseason. more than most MLB winners, if not any MLB winner ever. And I mean, there's not even in-person winner meetings this year, so that'll be interesting. But with Trevor Bauer and Francisco Lindor poised to change teams, fans are still in store for an offseason for the books.
Yeah, Rob, and I'm glad that you brought up Lindor because this is really a testament to the Cleveland organization. They got two players that we're both going with to be some of the important names to change teams this offseason. And these are two game-breaking type players. And you know me, Rob, I talk a lot about smaller market teams and the difference of the payroll and the MLB. So this is a real testament to AAA, AA, single A, real player development that the Cleveland Indians have done a great way of finding these players and shipping them off for assets. Yeah. So hopefully they can turn Lindor into the next Trevor Bauer or turn Lindor into the next Lindor or whoever. So this is a testament to the Indians that they continue to do a great job of developing these key players.
Yeah, that's a great point. I think we got to give credit to Cleveland's player development department. I mean, look at almost any trade they have made for those big names that they have developed in the past and then ship them away. Like, they continue to find unheralded players like a Corey Kluber or like a Mike Clevenger or these guys that weren't really as acclaimed, and then they get in that Cleveland system. They put him through whoever their pitching coach is. That man needs a raise because he has just developed elite ace after elite ace. Shane Bieber, another one, just won the Cy Young as well. So they'll figure it out. This isn't saying like Cleveland's an awful team. It's just that's how it works. When you have a league without a salary cap, smaller market teams aren't going to have as big of an advantage. They're not making as much money on their TV contracts. They're not making as much money on ticket sales when fans are there. They're not making as much money on merchandise sales. So those bigger market teams just have a bigger advantage, are able to pay for bigger name players. And that's why we're going to see guys like Trevor Bauer and Francisco Lindor end up in one of those big markets. And Cleveland will find a way to replace those with quality guys that end up becoming the next Lindor and Bauer and end up back on the market looking for those big deals.
Yeah, I mean, we can't stress enough, this is a huge offseason. We don't know what cap limitations could be down the road from the 60-game season or the impacts of Corona. It obviously impacts MLB, NBA, and the NFL. So this is a very impactful offseason for GMs to make sure they get any transaction that they make correct because it could deeply affect the team down the road. So we know that Francisco Lindor and Trevor Bauer are guaranteed hits. So hopefully they can get to the right market for them and they can continue to use their talents the right way.
So there we go. Big offseason coming up. Hope you're ready for it. So lock it in. That's our take for the day, and you can find all pro sports takes on prosportsoutlook.com, or even better, if you're already subscribed to Pro Sports Outlook's YouTube channel.
And that wraps up this episode of Pro Sports Takes. And remember, we encourage everyone to go ahead and leave comments about the player or even the team you want us to discuss. Tweet us at PSO_sports or simply use the hashtag ProSportsTakes. And we'll continue to monitor what's hot so we can give it a spot on our future show.
So we'll see you next time.
Until next time.